This is the MHS Pawdcast, the online radio voice of Metuchen High School.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Metuchen High School Podcast, the online radio voice of MHS. I'm Eddie Kalegi.
And I'm Josh Hyman.
First off, we want to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day, and we hope you've been enjoying School Spirit Week here at the MHS Podcast, here at Metuchen High School. The reason that we are doing a show back-to-back weeks is because we wanted to get something out for School Spirit Week to celebrate the school during this week. Josh, how have you enjoyed your first School Spirit Week here at MHS?
It's been pretty good so far. I went a bit, far out for Pajama Day, but...
Josh went a little above and beyond on Pajama Day on Monday.
Yeah, I did wear my onesie, but, did get a few interesting looks, but it did get us Battle of the Classes points, so that's all that matters.
So, to celebrate School Spirit Week, we'll be joined by a wide range of guests today. So after Josh provides us with the school announcements, we'll first be joined by Student Council Advisor, Miss Wagenblast. What a great person to have on during School Spirit Week. She'll be discussing all of the Spirit Week activities and what they're like from her end as the advisor of the Student Council. Then, our food correspondent, foods teacher Mrs. Stanski, returns to the show for the second time. This time, she'll talk about some foods that fit the theme of Valentine's Day and the end of the winter season. And then finally, Dylan Manfre returns to the show with updates from a busy weekend in MHS sports and what to expect as the winter season comes to a close. But first, the school announcements. Take it away, Josh.
Thank you, Eddie. So there's still 2 days left in School Spirit Week. Help your class bring more Battle of the Classes points by wearing a hat tomorrow. Friday is the pinnacle event of Spirit Week. Be sure to attend. And attention all 10th graders, next Wednesday, February 21st, you'll be getting the pre-ACT testing. It will take place in the cafeteria. Be sure to arrive at 8 a.m. Mid-marking period for third cycle is already in less than 2 weeks, Tuesday, February 27th. And finally, remember, due to President's Day, no school this Monday. That's all I've got. Back to you, Eddie.
Thanks a lot, Josh. Welcome back to the Metuchen High School Podcast, the online radio voice of Metuchen High School. I'm Eddie Kalegi. We are in the midst of one of the biggest weeks of the year here at Metuchen High School. It's Spirit Week. We know how excited students of all grades are during the week, but we're going to get a different perspective. I'm thrilled to be joined by Student Council Advisor and English teacher here at MHS, Miss Wagenblast. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Alright, so for freshmen who aren't really aware, I'm a freshman and I wasn't really aware about what Spirit Week entailed. Tell us about how the events will work on Friday, the pinnacle day of School Spirit Week, and overall just about Spirit Week.
So throughout the year, the students participate in numerous events that all contribute to Battle of the Classes. And so this is our culminating week. And so each day, the students come up with a theme of what they want to wear. So on Monday, it's typically our pajama day. Everybody likes to roll out of bed on Monday in their pajamas. And then we had Tourist Tuesday on Tuesday. Today we had our formal day for Valentine's Day. Tomorrow is Hat Day, and Friday is School Spirit Class T-shirt Day. On Friday, at the actual Battle of the Classes event, the students will partake in a number of activities such as knockout, tug of war, and a lip sync battle. So at the end of the event on Friday, the 4 classes will find out who the ultimate winner of Battle of the Classes for the entire school year is.
Very cool. So let's first talk a little bit about you now. So when did you first become involved with the student council here at MHS, and why did you choose to do so?
So I started working here in the fall of 2014, and I always like to be the kind of person who was involved in things at my other schools that I've worked at. And so when I first came here, Mr. Giddis was the advisor, and I was approached at the end of that school year to ask, and they asked me if I would be interested in taking over. So my second year here, I co-advised with Mr. Giddis, and then this is my second year running it entirely by myself. So it's a really great way to get to know more of the student body. It keeps me involved. I'm such a big part of so many things that happen in the school that the students are so interested in. And what I think is really great about Metuchen is that the student council really is such a big part of creating that school community.
So you're the advisor of this student council and everything. So what is your favorite part about School Spirit Week from your perspective?
Oh, I think it's really great when I'm walking through the hallways to see how many people are participating, because even though I feel like Metuchen is a very close-knit community, it really is very visually obvious that the students are very excited about the week, and to see that idea of that community and all the kids coming together to contribute. And there's no prize, there's no money, there's no any kind of materialistic prize. They just do it because it's something fun. And I think that that's really great, because nowadays when things can be really stressful, for them to just come in and have fun just for the sake of having fun is definitely my favorite part.
All right, so what do you think students can get from being involved in student council? Because obviously you said you want to connect more to the student body, but as for them, what do you think would be the best thing for them about being involved in student council?
I think it's a lot of the same, that, the students who are in student council, because it is a relatively big organization, it's probably the biggest organization in the school, they really just become so close with each other because we do so many things here. We don't just have meetings, we have charity events, we have school dances, we have battle of the classes, and it just allows for them to get to know more of their classmates. I know students who are sometimes shy, or they don't know how to get involved in school. When they start attending student council meetings, they just feel like they're more part of the school community. And I think that's, that's true for me, that I feel like I'm part of it, but I feel like that's even truer for the students.
All right, well, Hat Day is tomorrow, and Friday is the Battle of the Classes pinnacle event.
That's right. We can't wait. I hope everybody comes out and supports their class and roots hard. Right now, the juniors are in first place, but anything could happen on Friday.
It'll be very interesting to see. Miss Wagenblast, thank you for joining us in the Metuchen High School Podcast.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
All right, when we come back after this commercial break, Miss Stanski will join us to talk about some Valentine's Day recipes, and Dylan Manfre joins us with a sports update. This is the Metuchen High School Podcast, the online radio voice of Metuchen High.
Insurance. It's a commodity. It shouldn't be an impulse buy. Purchasing the right insurance takes time, and it must be fitted for your goals and your lifestyle. Farmers Insurance likes to do it right. They invite you to sit back, have some coffee, and relax. They listen to your needs, desires, and dreams, and shape an insurance policy just for you. An old-fashioned take on insurance? Possibly, but it's been working for agents and clients alike for years. Visit your local agent, Ed Van Eckert, today at 54 Pearl Street, right here in Metuchen, or call 732-548-4444 for a free quote. Ed's number one concern is Metuchen. Once again, that's 732-548-4444 or at 54 Pearl Street in Metuchen. Farmers, making the Brainy Borough smarter about insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Having trouble seeing the board in class? Do you need safety glasses for your school sport? If you answered yes to either of these questions, head over to Optique Unique, the eyeglass store at 406 Main Street in Metuchen. Optique Unique does it all. Not only do they offer eyewear for all ages, they also sell sports-specific safety glasses for kids and adults. Call them at 732-321-2020. That's 732-321-2020, or visit OptiqueUnique.com. Do you want to build character, build confidence, or even build yourself? All that and more can be accomplished at the Black Belt Institute at 23 New Street, right here in Metuchen. Students of all ages have been able to learn respect, discipline, fitness, and self-defense from their experienced instructors for over 20 years. Whether you're an adult looking for stress reduction or know someone young who has interest in Taekwondo, the Black Belt Institute is the place to go. The Institute takes a fun approach at teaching the rules of self-defense, instilling in their students an I-can-do-it attitude. Interested in taking a class? Call them at 732-205-9797 or visit their website at blackbeltinst.com. Once again, that's 732-205-9797 or blackbeltinst.com. The Black Belt Institute, Metuchen's leader in martial arts and fitness.
Let's give a thank you to some of our sponsors. Thank you to What's the Scoop, Reflections on Main, the Main Street Barbershop, and the Metuchen Savings Bank. None of this would be possible without the help of these businesses.
Welcome back to the Metuchen High School Podcast, the online radio voice of Metuchen High School. I'm Eddie Kalegi. School can be stressful. Luckily, here at the MHS Podcast, we have a cure: food. Joining us once again is foods teacher here at Metuchen High, our culinary contributor, Miss Stanski. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so what are your favorite foods to cook?
My favorite foods to
Definitely
cook.
some tough choices for
Yes.
you.
Oh, I like everything. I love to do desserts, probably most of all. A little sweetness goes a long way. Mm-hmm.
So, in terms of cooking, what are some of your various holiday traditions? Like, we can go to all different holidays here, like family traditions with you cooking.
With me cooking? Well, Christmas Eve actually is my in-laws' day. They do a traditional Polish fish dinner. So I don't do that one. Mine, I take over Thanksgiving for the most part. And of course, the turkey and all the normal trimmings. I would say it's very average, but it's very important to the whole family to get together and enjoy something good to eat.
Well, obviously today is Valentine's Day, so I wanted to get your opinion. What are some foods that fit the Valentine's Day mood?
Oh, well, you can't talk about Valentine's Day without talking about chocolate. That is key. So there's different things that you can do with the chocolate. Of course, not just eat a chocolate bar or whatever, or get Russell Stover or whatever brand chocolates that you like. But cooking with chocolate, I would say brownies are always very popular. And adding, you could do something simple like a box mix and add something additional like more chocolate chips, or possibly even add a little bit of instant coffee to give it that little mocha, give it a little kick. You can, of course, cover fruit with chocolate, or make a chocolate fondue. Dip your chocolate. That's very romantic for a couple or a family, whatever. And then if you're not a chocolate fan, what my class today did is they made pizza, and they made the dough in the shape of a heart, and that was kind of cute.
So now that we move towards the end of the winter, President's Day weekend coming up, spring not too far away, what are some different types of foods that fit this particular time of year?
Well, the big thing is now that we have fresh fruits and vegetables coming in, I think those are key. As the weather warms up, you're probably less likely to use the oven, although this time of year we enjoy roasted vegetables, particularly like sweet potatoes or maybe parsnips, a nice blend, whatever family favorite. But as we get into the warmer weather, definitely using fresh fruits and vegetables, because that's key for nutrition and for flavor.
Well, we're right in the midst of the season of course selection, so I want you to make your case. Why should kids take foods class?
Oh, well, my goal is to improve the quality of life of all my students, and we do try to have fun doing it. Of course, they're getting the same number of credits for this as they are for the math class, so there is some work involved, some studying and so forth. I don't want to, steer you wrong and say, oh, no tests, because we do have tests and so forth. But we are cooking several days each week. And I think students enjoy it. I can't tell you how many seniors go, oh, I wish I had taken this earlier. I would have taken more of the courses.
I think some people are blind to the fact that there's a lot of thinking that comes involved with cooking. It's not just throw something in the oven and make it.
Oh, absolutely. I do have students who think, yes, just throw it in the bowl and it'll turn out, and then they're surprised when it doesn't. So it is key. There's, following directions. There's some really important life skills there, measuring properly, and of course there's fractions with measuring ingredients and so forth. So it's a life skill, and hopefully it'll take students, through their lives.
Because I've been to your room one time to cook something. It was with French Club, and it was to make crepes. And even though that might seem so easy, of course, mine was just a big sloppy mess.
Well, it takes a little practice. I always say sometimes you need to do something once, and then you learn from it. You learn, in my class, you learn from any mistakes that you make.
All right, well, that's about all the time we have. Miss Stanski, thanks for joining us once again on the MHS Podcast.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Welcome back to the MHS Podcast, the online radio voice of Metuchen High School. I'm Eddie Kalegi.
And I'm Josh Hyman.
It was a huge weekend at MHS Sports. To recap all that went down and to preview what is to come, it's great to be joined once again by Dylan Manfre. Dylan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me again, Eddie. Really appreciate it.
Alright, so we're going to begin with a focus on the track team. Tell us what happened at a very successful state sectionals meet for Metuchen Track this past Saturday.
Well, the boys got second place with 58 points. The girls got fourth with 37. Both of the top 5 schools in each, I wouldn't say predictable, but I would say more of like expected. You have the likes of Shore, who's always a good team. Williamstown, is it? I believe. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but yeah, the top scores in the meet, were, I guess, kind of expected, in that top 5. But on the boys' end, very strong 1600 meter race from the boys. Jake Beecher, Kale Johnson, David Gupta, going 2, 3, and 5. In the 2 mile, is where we saw a big performance from Eddie Maleg, who ran 10:12. That is a huge PR for the junior, and also it's the same time that Jake Beecher ran in that race too. So it just goes to show the progression that Maleg has achieved over this season and over his career, and heading into next year, he's expected to get that time down a lot more. So it's going to be exciting to see what we get from him.
I mean, being able to equal Jacob Beecher, a senior, in the same time as a junior is very impressive.
Absolutely, and both of them are hard workers, and I've spoken to Eddie numerous times, and he really looks up to Beecher and really likes training with him, and it's good to see it pay off here. Avi Hogan-Appel ran another impressive 400, placing 3rd with a time of 52.9, and an event that Metuchen is really known for is the 4x4, and they placed 2nd, just milliseconds, hundredths of a second, I should say, ahead of Shore. Kale and Divage went 3-4 in the 800. On the girls' side, a lot of big performances took place. Nina Suss, she's the sectional champion in the 2 mile with a time of 11:52, and she is the now 2-time sectional champion in the 1600, running 5:14. Sophie Rubin also tied her school record in the pole vault, her main and favorite event, jumping 9.6. And the 4x4 for the girls placed 4th. And also, it's important to note that in a championship meet like this, the top 6 in each individual event medal, and the top 6 also go on to groups, which will be this Saturday. Also at the Toms River Bubble in Toms River. Too many rivers here.
So many. All right, so let's move on to girls basketball. Their chase for a GMC crown came to an end on Saturday with a tough loss at home to open up the GMC tournament. Definitely being without Bryn Farrell hurt this team tremendously this year. What are your takeaways from this season? Coach Glutz is first in charge. And also, how about with returning players like Sam Anton, Rachel Weitzner, Chase Glavon? Hopefully a healthy Bryn Farrell in control. Can this team have more success next year?
Look, it's clear. Even though the season didn't go as planned, there were a lot of positives that the girls can take away from this year. I know Coach Glutz, one of the reasons she took the job was because she was really, interested in coaching Bryn Farrell, and hopefully she'll be able to coach a healthy Bryn Farrell next year and lead this team to, I guess, the record that they had set out to get. Because, listen, losing 35.5 points per game in the first 2 games of the season, that's irreplaceable. Rory Joselle stepped up in her absence and did a phenomenal job. All the credit to her. She was the big team leader, and she did a great job of keeping the attitude high, even when, Metuchen got, some very, very tough losses. And again, Eddie, like you said, we saw the emergence of Chase Clavon and her 9.2 points per game. She had a career day versus Mother Seton, scoring 18 and grabbing 6 rebounds. And for the 3rd time this year, she tied her career high in threes with none other than 3. Listen, I think that going into next year, the girls are going to have a solid unit returning, like you said again, with Sam Anton, Rachel Weitzner, Bridget O'Connor maybe. And again, hopefully, a healthy Bryn Farrell. And again, the point guard spot is locked up in Chase Clavon. It's hers to lose. And I think over time, the freshman in Clavon will, get a lot more experienced. She grew a lot this year, working day in and day out with Rory. And, the bottom line is this. these girls know what it takes to win. I think it's a matter of time of them just buying into what Glutz is, offering, and, buying into her basketball IQ. And let me tell you something, she has a very talented basketball IQ, Coach Kathy Glutz.
A lot of history with the
Yes,
sport.
absolutely. In her second stint, listen, again, it's clear her second stint with the Metuchen Bulldogs did not go as planned, but, she's just going to, it's only a matter of time before the pieces to the puzzle get put together.
And how are the boys and girls swim teams able to excel in the upper echelon of the GMC this season?
Well, Josh, these teams had a lot of success last year. The girls won the state sectional a season ago, and tomorrow they have a chance to advance to the sectional final again, as they swim against Governor Livingston in the semifinals. They have a strong group in all positions. They have young talent in freshman Bridget Thomas, and same goes for the boys. Julian Parks leading this team in a number of events. Bottom line is this: I think they carried a lot of the momentum from last season, and they used it to their advantage. They never looked back, as you shouldn't do in swimming. And they just rose above the rest. To be quite honest with you, it's a very talented group of boys and girls, and they're really putting themselves on the map as one of the more dominant teams in the Greater Middlesex Conference.
All right, Dylan Manfre, thanks for joining us once again here on the MHS Podcast.
Thanks for having me, Eddie.
All right, and that's going to just about wrap up our show. So a thank you to our guests, Mrs. Wagenblast, Miss Stanski, and Dylan Manfre. We hope you enjoyed this Spirit Week podcast. For everyone here at the MHS Podcast, I'm Eddie Kalegi.
And I'm Josh Hyman.
And we'll be signing off until next time here on the MHS Podcast, the online radio voice of Metuchen High School.